My name is Sildress, and today we are back again for another video of Digimon Masters here on Roblox. Now, this video, as you see on the screen, was made on June 30th, 2021. So if you are watching this video a little bit later than when it come out, be sure to go ahead and check the Digimon Masters Discord server for any recent updates that regard this video. Now, I'm going to be covering a lot of the most asked questions, so if I haven't really answered your question here in this video, please go into their Discord, which I will be leaving down below, by the way, to ask that question in one of their channels that they provide for asking questions about the game if I have not answered it. And you can also leave it down in the comments below, and I will be trying to reach you as soon as I can. So the first thing we're going to be getting into is cloning. There's been a lot of changes to cloning in the game here recently, and it's a little bit more, I wouldn't say it's a little bit more trickier, it's just a little bit more weirder now that they have removed the cloning NPCs, so it works a bit differently now. So you might be asking, what is cloning? Cloning is a system that further improves your Digimon that you use, and with one of their recent updates here in the past couple of months, this is now based on how many datas of that Digimon you have, or the amount of datas of the item you need to acquire that Digimon. Alright, and you might be asking, how many clones do I have to do to max out a Digimon? Alright, so the max clones in the game is 15. Alright, once you have reached 15 clones, you cannot get any more for that Digimon, and everything after that is basically used for other systems or just extra data to help boost your Digimon. Now, you will need 735 datas for 15 clones, which is max in the game. Alright, so you're looking at about 49 datas per clone. Alright, now cloning isn't necessarily a system that you will see a major difference in unless you have 15 clones or 735 datas for that Digimon. 735 datas is a lot considering how much you really have to grind for some of those, because they're not always guaranteed drops, but that is the amount you need for max cloning. And you also got to figure that you are getting a small buff per data that you get. I don't think it's very much, but you will for sure notice the difference in your Digimon once you have reached max clones. Alright, and of course the datas you gather after your max 15 clones will still be buffing your Digimon, and of course the other systems depending on how much you have, and your other systems like perfectioning, and I forget the other one at the moment. But that is what you're looking at as far as your Digimon. So the next thing we're looking into is mutations. Now, mutations is a very complicated system, and there are thousands of questions that could probably go for this system, but I'm answering really the big two that I see the most in some of my comments and sometimes in the Discord too. What are mutations? Alright, mutations is very similar to cloning, but it is overall a little bit more complicated and a little bit harder to get them as far as it goes. Now, this system also boosts your Digimon overall. This applies to all of the Digimon you have, and you can also unlock certain Digimon in the game, such as mutated Lucymon SM, and I believe the other one is mutated Draymon or Draymon or Daemon. I think it's Daemon. All right, mutated Daemon. I think it's his. I don't remember what mode it is for him, but you can also unlock him, and I think there's one more, but I don't know it right off the top of my head. So how do you get mutations? All right, so there's an event area that you unlock at 600 or level 641, and as far as the world boss goes, the world boss has a lot of health, and it is easier to do in public servers or with a bunch of friends since it has a lot of health. Now, there are multiple Digimon you can use that are very good for this. I don't really know them off the top of my head, but I know that Lucymon, his base mode is very easy to get, and it's also very good for the damage that you can get on the world boss. So once you've defeated the world boss, you get these things called mutation genes. Alright, and mutation genes are what you use to get those mutations, and what you need to do is you need to go to the Mutations NPC. This will be a mutated Daemon, or Draymon, whichever one it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. And he's located in every single level area of the map, and I really don't have the locations like exact, but the easiest one to find is probably in the beginner village at level 41. So you can just go there, and he's right there beside the drill tunnel teleport, and super easy to get to. All right. So regular mutations will cost you 1 gene, and these are not guaranteed. I don't know the exact percentage rate of them, but you can use 1 gene. Ooh, a mouthful. You can use 1 gene to gain 1 mutation towards your account, and essentially mutations apply to all of your Digimon. So once you have reached 15 mutations, you really don't have to do anything more with this system, but this does apply to your overall account and not individual Digimon. So reinforced genes also cost 3. It costs 3 genes or 3 mutation genes, and this is a guaranteed upgrade. I don't really recommend using your reinforced genes at a low level. Like until you're about 7, 8, or 9 mutations in, I don't recommend using reinforced ones. So that's pretty much all I have on mutations. So the next one we're going to be looking at is Lucymon SM. I get hundreds of questions about Lucymon SM, and this is exactly how you get Lucymon SM. And of course, if you want the mutated version, you will have to get max mutations and this, basically. All right. So how do you get Lucymon SM? You will need 125 Lucymon datas and 1 Gehenna data. All right. How do you get Lucymon datas? You will need to go to the level 81 area, the drill tunnel, and grind there until you have 125 Lucymon datas or more. And how do you get Gehenna? You will need to go to the Infinite Mountain at level 1281, and all mobs can drop this, but bosses are definitely more effective if you have, let's say, game passes and stuff like that. But either way, bosses are definitely more effective than, you know, the regular mobs that's in there. There's not really, I could be wrong about how to get some of these because it might have changed, but overall this is the general gist of how to get some of these things. So the next one we're going to be looking at is Xmod. Now this is the last one I have for you guys, but it's probably the easiest to get, so you really don't have to, I can basically just tell you how to get this. You will need to have reached the level requirements, such as applies with the other Digimon that have been on this list, and you will need 250 Dracomon datas. Now this is a lot more than what most people would expect, but it's really simple to get these. Now you can get these from pretty much any area in the game, but I recommend going to the village at level 41 since it's easier, and just defeating the mobs around there. That way, you know, you're getting a bunch of them and they're basically one shot. So if you have a private server, this is probably easier since there's a lot of people grinding for Xmod anyways and stuff like that. And of course you need 1 Xmod data. Now I believe he unlocks at 1281 as well. You can correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, please. And it's pretty simple from there on. All you need is 1 of them, and of course the more you have, the stronger he gets with the cloning system and stuff like that. But you can also farm him in level 1280 area in the Infinite Mountain and get his datas. And I believe this is my last slide. Yes, it is. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys today, and I hope I answered some of your questions. This is a really short video, at least I hope it was. And be sure to leave a like and subscribe down below to show your support to the channel and stuff like that. So I'll see you in the next one. Peace.